So my experience buying tools from Amazon Japan was actually quite phenomenal, I would say. Overall, it was really smooth, no hiccups, everything was packaged fantastic, and everything came in great. So I'm gonna make this video, gonna be probably a longer video here about how to buy tools from Japan. I'm only gonna cover Amazon and eBay. I know there's other resellers, other ways to get tools from Japan, but those are generally the basic, simplest ways to get the tools imported here to the USA. I'm sure some of these rules will apply, maybe if you're another country in the world, but I'm kind of just gonna stick to the USA rules that I've found so far and kind of the tips and tricks I've found as well too. So starting off, first thing, why would you want to buy tools from Japan? Now, I've seen some videos online, and there's been a lot of other tool reviewers that say, oh, the Amazon, or Japanese impacts, they're incredible. It's awesome to buy Japanese tools. They're built better, I don't know about that per se myself. A lot of the Makita stuff is made in Japan, where all the stuff that goes to the rest of the world is all made in China. So I'm sure some of it is maybe a little bit better, of course, but that's not my reason for buying these tools from Japan. And I'm not hunting down a 2% better of a tool and I'm going to pay $100 more for it. That's not what I'm looking to do. My two reasons for buying tools from Japan are, the first one is that we have access to a lot larger of a line that's not available here in the US. So the first two tools that I got in are going to be from Hikoki, which if you don't know what Hikoki is, that's Metabo HPT here in the USA. Don't ask me why they changed that. It's really weird why they would make that kind of change. Really doesn't make any sense to me, but Hikoki is actually a rather large line. It's a pretty small line here in the USA. However though, all of your batteries from Metabo HPT will work on Hikoki tools. So as you can see behind me, I've got the Hikoki impact driver running on a Metabo HPT battery. So as long as you buy the tools, like tool only, I would recommend to not buy the batteries, don't buy the chargers, just buy the tool only and buy your battery and chargers here in the United States and just buy the tool from Japan. The reasoning for that is, of course, the chargers are not going to work on 120 volts. They're probably not also going to be able to plug into a socket here. So it's opening up a whole can of worms there. The batteries, the batteries are going to work from Japan. A battery is going to be a battery. It doesn't matter if it's the Metabo HPT logo on it or the Hikoki logo. You're just going to pay more, and it'll likely arrive a lot slower because it also can't go via air. It's a lithium-ion battery. A lot of restrictions on them, especially internationally. So just don't worry about the batteries. Go for the tool only. Now, we also have access to colors, which is really cool. So as you can see here, this Hikoki is in flare red. I also have a stick vac behind me too, and that is in pure white, or they kind of call it snow white is the color for it. Also available in like an army green as well too, a little bit darker than the Metabo HPT or Hikoki green. So really cool. But the cool thing, and this is the major reason why I'm buying tools from Japan, is actually to save money. And yet you heard that right, to save money. Now I'm sure you're thinking, hey, to save money, that doesn't really make any sense. Why would I buy tools from Japan, have them shipped 7,000 miles to the USA to save money? Well, I'll give you two examples here behind me. This impact driver, you can buy the same exact model here in the US. Just has Metabo HPT on it, not Hikoki on it. However, it's currently not available as a tool only. I've been waiting a while since it came out, I think it came out about a year ago or so now, to be tool only or have a really good deal and allow me to then buy it. Unfortunately, neither has really happened, so I'm getting impatient and I'd rather just check in on Amazon Japan and pick it up that way. Now, I'll give you some advice for this tool. It was about $120. There was a coupon code for it, so when you have an Amazon Japan account, you can use the coupon code for it. You pay a little bit of shipping, a little bit of conversion fees from your US dollar to the Japanese yen, and then you can buy that tool. Not a big deal. And same thing with the vac behind me. Now, this vac is not available in the US at all. This model is totally unavailable in the US. Metabo HP does not make a stick vacuum for the US. However, though, Makita does, and they make a new 36-volt vacuum, which this Hikoki is. They're kind of like sister models a little bit in how these two vacuums are functioning. They're very similar design, running on the same voltage of batteries. Of course, but they're different tool brand lines, of course. The Makita XGT version, or model, in the United States is available. It's in a kit, which I do need some more batteries for XGT. It's almost $500, which I'm not paying $500 for a stick vacuum. That's absolutely insane. Sorry, Makita, I'm just not going to pay that kind of pricing for it. However, though, Metabo HPT had a really awesome deal where you buy any couple of tools and you get a free 8 amp hour battery. They had that back in September. I grabbed a ton of batteries from that deal, and this stick vac is only 120 bucks on Amazon Japan. Has very, very similar specs to the Makita, but a significant discount in price. So that's my first 2 reasons on why I would want to buy from Amazon Japan. I'm not necessarily looking for, a little bit better made tool, which of course that's a nice bonus to have, of course, but some of the tools are made in Japan. However, though, I'm looking for, of course, more options for the lines I currently have. And secondly, value. I want to be able to get those tools at a cheaper price or get a similar model that I can't get here in the United States. All right, now let's talk about Amazon Japan versus eBay. So you've got 2 options. I'm just going to cover these 2 options. I know there's other ways to get things from Japan, but Amazon and eBay are going to be your relatively simple ways to do so, and they're also not a bad value as well too. They're relatively simple, very straightforward. So let's start off with eBay. eBay is very simple. You can just, of course, create an eBay account. eBay will take care of a lot of the conversion rates and stuff for you. There's a lot of good eBay sellers in Japan where you can buy a lot of these tools. Now, as of filming this on Friday, I discovered that you can actually now buy the all-new Makita. This is the TD173 impact driver. That's basically going to probably be the XDT21 here in the States when it does come out, probably like a year later, of course. But it's now available actually on eBay. It's not even on Amazon yet. So the big pro to eBay is you can find a lot more colors, a lot more options of stuff, and a lot sooner than you can on Amazon. So that's a really big play to buy it on eBay. However, that impact driver right now is $450 with free shipping. That's a pretty crazy price to pay for a brand new impact driver. That's going to be, probably $200, $250 over what it's actually going to go for at retail. Now, your second advantage of buying on eBay versus pretty much anywhere else is, like I mentioned, having options to buy different colors. Now, there are certain colors, like the impact driver behind me is available in 4 colors, pretty much all over Japan. You can get it in the flare red, the black, the standard green. They also have, I think it's called the army green, kind of like a forest green style. And of course, the color that Zach bought, the ocean blue. Now, there are 3 additional colors that are specialty and they're a little bit more restrictive. I did see one of the colors finally pop up on Amazon searching for it. And you can get the white and gold. They have a kind of a camel color. It's like a brownish color. I think it's like camel sand, something like that, what it was called. And then they also have a coral, which is kind of like an off pink kind of color. So those are more unique colors. They're definitely going to be much harder to get. They're sold in much more limited quantities. Definitely going to be hard to get anywhere else but eBay. Because a lot of the sellers on eBay, they're just going out and buying the tools wherever they can get them and then just throw them back on eBay for you. Now, they are going to have a couple downsides of buying eBay. Like I mentioned, you're going to pay definitely quite a bit more on eBay because you are dealing with now a middleman. Amazon is going to be basically just, dealing with, them, basically going through Hikogi, Makita. You're getting probably one of the best deals on Amazon. However, though, going through eBay, you're going to get, they're going to pay a bit more for what you're getting, and the shipping will also be a bit slower. My experience on eBay, I've had between 2 and 6 weeks coming from Japan to the US. Not terrible, of course, what you'd expect for, a 7,000-mile shipping. And it's not, not terrible, but, it's still quite a bit of time compared to the Amazon Japan shipping times. All right, now let's talk Amazon Japan. And this is kind of my preference, going forward a little bit here. I got to try it out finally. Amazon Japan is definitely a bit more robust now than it was years back. And the shipping is absolutely easy now. So now if you're wondering how to do Amazon Japan, it's a little more complicated to get set up than it is on eBay, where eBay is just create an account and add a credit card. That's about it. Well, Amazon Japan, you do the same exact thing. It doesn't matter if you have Prime or not. I believe you can't get Prime if you are not located in Japan. Now, I did a bunch of research before I even placed my couple orders, and I was looking into exactly what to do. Some people are saying like you gotta have an Amazon or a Japanese address, then you can forward it from there, and you don't need to do any of that. I created an Amazon Japan account. It's amazon.jp. Just Google it. You can find it really easily. You just create an account. You add your current USA address, and then you add a credit card. Now, I've heard some things about adding credit cards, like they don't take debit cards. I'm not really too sure on that. I've heard a few different stories kind of going either way. My suggestion personally, though, would be to use your Amazon Prime Visa card that you probably currently have if you have Amazon Prime already. I've heard you do get a discount on the transaction fees, the conversion fees from USD to the yen. That's what I've heard. I can't really confirm that, but it went really smooth for me on my first few purchases from Amazon Japan. So after you create an account, you add your credit card. I would suggest Amazon Prime Visa or another credit card that has, careful about what credit card you add. Definitely check the conversion fees, what it costs. You don't want to, place a $100 order on Amazon Japan and you got to spend 50%, $150 total, just to convert your USD to yen. So be aware of that before you just add a credit card on. All right, now that we have the Amazon account set up, we got our credit card added on, we have our address added on. Now, it's going to be a little confusing here, and I still haven't fully figured out yet how to search Amazon Japan effectively. Of course, make sure you have Google Translate on. Amazon will translate most of the page for you. There's going to be a few things that are not translated. Also, you can't really search effectively because you're searching in English when it's trying to translate that for you into Japanese. So if you search like Makita, you're going to get a lot of random Makita tools, but you're not necessarily going to get maybe what you're looking for exactly. And you can't search Metabo HPT, you got to search Hikoki. So you really want to be careful what you search for. Now, my biggest suggestion, there's going to be two things to do. When you're searching there, go on the left side, click International Shipping Eligible. So that's a little checkbox, hit that. Everything that you now see is going to be eligible for international shipping. Note that Amazon Japan doesn't ship everything to the US. They only have certain things they ship. For the most part, it's been the majority of things that they ship. Pretty much anything Prime does ship to the US. Now, I will say, be careful of any third-party sellers you see. If you do try to buy from them, you might be facing much larger shipping fees than from Amazon Japan. So just be wary of that. I have not done that yet. I'm just not really concerned about that. Really just focusing on just Prime-only items. Now, my order total for my first order was just under $400, $399 to be exact. And what I ordered was I ordered 2 of the impacts, this vacuum, and I ordered 2 screwdrivers from Amazon as well too. So my order total, just under $400 there. You are able to use any of the Prime discounts like daily deals, any of those deals, even coupons. You got to click that checkbox, gives you a little discount. Those are totally fine. Never had any issue with those not working. They all work fantastic. Now you're gonna be faced with 2 additional fees that you're gonna pay. So because of course you can't get Prime, there's no Prime from Japan to the US, that doesn't exist. What you're going to have to do is pay shipping. So what I've heard some people online doing is play with your cart a little bit, see if you add an item, does it crank the shipping way up or does it keep the shipping nice and low? I had no issues at all buying what I bought. I will say I do recommend doing the priority shipping. Once you add all your items to cart, it'll give you 2 options. It's going to say standard shipping or priority shipping. So my price for standard shipping on my order was about $41. My priority shipping was $45. So it was like $3.90 something to go to priority shipping. Now standard shipping said, hey, it's gonna be about 2 to 3 weeks. And then priority shipping said it's gonna be like 1 to 2 weeks. So I'm like, that sounds great to me, an extra $3, no problem. Now, a lot of my order arrived in 2 days. All the impacts arrived literally on Wednesday when I ordered on Monday, and then the vac arrived 1 day later actually 2 days later on Friday is when it arrived. It looked like I got hung up in customs on DHL when I checked the tracking, so not really sure what happened there, but impacts arrived super quick, and then of course the vacuum arrived the next day, which was really cool. I will say when I got all the boxes in, they came excellently packed. They look just like a regular Amazon package. There's no like Amazon Japan lettering. Nothing really to see out of the ordinary with that packaging. However, everything was packed very nicely. Nice little bit of paper around all the boxes. You can see the boxes behind me. There's really no damage on any of the boxes at all. They looked fantastic. You can tell they actually went about 7,000 miles in transit. So really happy with the shipping. Looks like they're using a lot of DHL shipping, which they were fast, really nice. Left the package on my door really nicely, kind of kept out of the way, nice and hidden. No real issues there. So overall, it was a fantastic experience buying from Amazon Japan. And of course, the one thing you want to keep in mind whenever you're buying from Amazon Japan is make sure you check Amazon the US to see if that item is available in the US. I'll give you an example. I needed to buy a new pole saw, one of those little Japanese saws. With the 2 sides that are nicely serrated. I was looking on Amazon Japan, of course. I'm like, I really want to buy one from Japan. And the one that I wanted was actually the same brand in the US, exact same items. But the one in the US actually only cost $3 more, and I, of course, get it the next day. So I opt for that one, of course, $3 more. I give this basically the next day, and no big deal there. So you want to make sure you check out any items that are available in the US and make sure you kind of, cross-check stuff there. Make sure you're checking, is it available here? Is it already cheaper here? because of course, shipping might be a little bit expensive. I did order 2 screwdrivers from Amazon Japan, and they're about 15, 16 bucks a piece here in the US, but they had a sale on them in Amazon Japan, and they were $4.50, I think. So shipping was about $5 on each one, and after conversion rate, it was about $11 or so for each one. So I was still saving a little bit of money. Kind of my first Amazon Japan order anyways, and I figured, hey, I'll save the $4, get them direct from Japan. So kind of cool there. As long as you're saving money, I'd say go for it for the most part. But make sure you're watching to see if that item is available here in the US or not. And I had mentioned in my earlier video, I mentioned a few things about, hey, you'd be surprised some of the items that I did pick up. Well, here's the items that I did pick up that are power tools. But the items I currently have not picked up, I haven't picked up any Makita so far. Now there's a few Makita items that I have seen that I'm looking at picking up, from Amazon Japan. But I will say some of the tools that I've seen are definitely gonna be a good deal. Like you can pick up the coolers, which are like 600 bucks here. If you haven't seen those coolers, they run on the LXT or XGT batteries. Hikoki also has one, and they're pretty expensive here in the States. But once you add in shipping, all your fees you're paying, you're saving like $200-300 on those coolers. So definitely watch out for some of the larger ticket items. You're also going to find some more unique stuff on Amazon Japan, but there's some things to be careful, of course, like some of these saws there use different size blades than we have here in the States. So some like the 5-inch saws, you're not going to find blades here in the US very easily, if not at all. So be wary of that, of course. I've heard some issues with some of the chucks and the bits and it being slightly different sizes in Japan. I haven't ran into that just yet. I think it's more of a Makita thing, or is it maybe buying the bits? I'm not 100% sure on that one. Once I do figure that out, I'll make a video on that or a comment and let you guys know as soon as I figure that one out. So I'm going to review these tools behind me, kind of compare them, of course, to some of the tools we already have here. Now, these are both still made in China. They're not Japan-made tools, but it's an easy way to get the tools for relatively cheap. Amazon Japan is pretty well known around the world that you can, buy from Amazon Japan kind of almost wherever you are. Fast shipping, affordable, nothing too crazy there. So I don't mind buying the tools. I probably could find them cheaper somewhere else, but Amazon Japan is just fantastic. I had a really good experience with them so far. And looking to review these things, and as I go moving forward, I really want to see, how some of the Hikoki stuff really stacks up against Makita, DeWalt, Milwaukee, especially at some of the great deals we're finding as well too. But to sum up, I'm pretty sure I would recommend Amazon Japan over eBay just for, the overall simplicity of it, the fast shipping. They really do take care of all the fees for you. Kind of last note too, I looked into some of the custom stuff. I heard to keep it under $2,000 in order. That way you don't need to pay any customs fees that you can bring into the US. I'm not 100% sure on that one. I was looking at a bunch of different information on that. Some people say 200 orders, some people like 800 order, but from what I found online, reading US Customs, it's right around $2,000 per package. So that's what I would be wary of. Don't order a ton of it at a time, Keep it, once in a while, I'll order a package here and there. And of course, if you order commercial, that's going to be different for commercial use. I'm just ordering these, of course, for personal use. I'm not ordering a ton of stuff at a time, but that's something to just be aware of. How much you order will affect anything with customs, duties, bringing that into the US. But once you get your Amazon Japan account up and running, of course, add your address. Make sure your address is correct as well, too. You don't want anything shipping through a different address. Make sure you add a credit card. My suggestion is be the Amazon Prime credit card. Very cheap conversion rates. It's owned by Amazon, of course, so very little to go wrong there. Nothing really too crazy that can happen. And of course, Amazon is well aware that, hey, you're working from Amazon Japan. It's probably not something fraudulent. I'm sure a lot of other credit cards might see that as kind of a weird move there. It might put your credit card on freeze or on hold. So be aware of that. That might happen as well too. But of course, one of the hardest parts I found about buying from Amazon Japan is going to be the search. Being able to find the tools that you want, and then make sure to compare those tools to current U.S. pricing. Look at how much it costs to ship, any conversion fees you have as well too. So definitely keep that well in mind when looking for tools. There's going to be a lot of different tools to buy from Hikoki, Makita, and it's really exciting to see what you can buy from Amazon Japan. So if you guys got any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them as best I can. And don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, and stay tuned. We're going to have some really cool Japanese tools here in the future we're going to bring reviewing, and definitely don't want to miss that. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys. Take care. Have a great day.